Howdy, Charmanders! Welcome back to Schwab!
This is because it's our Western episode of Charmed.
That Western flavor.
That was
It's bold!
totally present in this episode.
Oh no, I just hit something funky.
In the rootinest, tootinest episode of Charmed, Season 2, Episode 13, Breaking the Cycle.
Oh, did they ever.
The board, it's dead. My powers aren't working. What the hell?
Yeah, no, this is a typical generic Season 2 episode. I will say up front, it had a little more promise than some of the recent ones. Still not great.
It got the sisters together for a super boring story.
Yeah, they could have done a little more, but at least they were in a scene together.
Yeah,
so.
but like, get them together and have them do something that feels like it's furthering a plot, not just telling them, you guys need sisterhood. Do they?
Well, yeah. All right, I'm just gonna jump right into it, Phelan. The very first scene, we got Dark Harry confronting Good Harry in his mind. He asks him to meet up with him for a chat. So Harry wakes up in the attic and he's got kryptonite tracks in his arm. What's that all about?
He wouldn't know anything about that, Allison.
He wouldn't know anything about that. This is Lex Luthor's fault. Maggie wakes up around that same time because she had a premonition that something bad happened to Harry. So she goes to see him, and she knows the Darklighter is back. They act like this is like new news. There's a lot of things they act like in this episode is new, but they did last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know that his Darklighter's not dead.
Yeah, but they forgot.
But they forgot. It's the same things with, like, the no relationship rule. It's like, wasn't the last scene of the last episode like, who cares? We can just, like, live in reality for once.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why Mel went off with Bartender Woman.
Yeah, and then they're acting like it's a secret again in this one.
Yeah, stupid.
I don't understand. Macy's digging up in the bunker to try and get the bunker tree, but everything that she's digging up is all dried up, has no sap in it. She gets a text from Maggie, and cut to Mel sleeping with the bartender Ruby, and she
wastes no time. This is their first date.
She wastes no time. Their first date, they got together. And then her roommates and all of his friends like just barge in to go watch the sports game while they're in bed.
Yes, it was soccer, I think.
The big sports game.
Yeah. Sports ball.
Who does that? They're like, oh, you're half dressed in bed with your girlfriend? Yeah, sports.
Yeah, but it's okay because she gives Mel a scarf.
I don't know about you, Phelan. I was smelling some stale beer and white privilege.
Yeah, I think season 1 Mel would kill these people.
Yeah, she'd be like, white men! I guess they weren't all white, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Kill Whitey!
Mel gets a text and also leaves. All the sisters meet with Harry in the bunker, and he says he's going to meet Dark Harry alone as the one person who cannot kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he thinks he can put the genie back in the bottle, baby. Gotta rub him the wrong way, honey. Put him back in. Cut to Abigail and Godric discussing their evil plans in a very boring way when Harry shows up and Abigail calls him Harold. What's going on, Harold? And he immediately tells her everything.
Yeah. I'll just tell you the entire backstory of me and Darklighter Harry, and let's do a plot together. Oh, that would be dreadfully boring. Okay.
We can't kill each other, and if one of us dies, the other one dies. Let me just tell you everything. You're a very trustworthy person. She says, why don't you take Grumpy, Bouncy, and the one you can't bring yourself to bang? Are you Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. Mickey Mouse found it really hilarious again.
I just hate all of their scenes. I hate it.
Abigail's a shit character, and you can't try and act her. You can't give her any scenes where she's acting like she's abused in some way by the way she's treated by them, because she's a horrible murderer. We don't care.
Yeah, remember that girl's parents or whatever that got killed at the inn? They don't seem to care about them. Those witches that she murdered. Like, whoops.
And there's more than them.
Yeah, she was killing a bunch of... Ugh.
Like, there's a little girl they find later in this episode who says her witch mom's dead. And like, wouldn't that be funny if that was one of the witches that Abigail had killed? Oops.
You know what? I bet it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find Abigail super gross too. I think they think that her character is very edgy and provocative, but it's not.
No,
I actually find her just super gross.
It's dull and like everyone has to be an idiot to go along with her.
Yeah.
Like, Harry's a big idiot in this episode.
He is. He's like, okay, so if this bottle thing doesn't work, I want you to kill me. Mm-hmm. And she acts super offended. She goes, how dare you ask that of me? I may be a half demon, but I'm not a monster. Could have fooled me. You killed those other witches.
Yeah. I imagine she's killing a bunch of people with her new demon squads. Like, shut the hell up.
Like, who is this for? The audience? Him? Who? Yeah. It's not fooling anyone.
Who's buying it? Seriously.
But she's like, well, I'll do it if I get one night of sex with you.
Yeah. Pretty Harry.
Yeah. I'm not that cheap, sister. When will he meet his Richard Gere and realize his worth?
Yeah.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
So they are about to go meet Dark Harry in the place he asked Good Harry to meet. Everyone around them is frozen in place. They walk around. They find a flower van that has some blood and some shackles and a magical detector in it. And they figure that Dark Harry is using that to detect magical creatures. If people remember, and they probably don't, there was a bunch of tubes with magical things in it during that Woker episode. I don't remember what it was actually called.
They're like, this isn't the usual flower service that has a magic detector.
Something's up with this. Yeah, they just go there because there's like a radio on or something. And it's like, what? But that's the one thing that they honed in on. It wasn't that weird the radio was on because, like, not everyone's like, a dog's not frozen and, like, the world's not frozen. Time isn't. It's just people are frozen. And so, like, why is that the one thing that they detected? Like, we must go to this flower van over here.
Yeah, kind of flimsy.
Yeah. They end up following this magic detector into a whaling museum.
Oh, was that it?
I think it was. There was a bunch of ships and like some audio narration about whales or something.
Okay.
They find a little girl in there named Cassie, and Abigail decides to play the bad cop in this situation. Like, tell us what you know! Where are the drugs?
Powers! I wouldn't know anything about powers. Yes, you would.
Yes, you would. So she fesses up that she's a witch. She was the one that froze everyone. Maybe she's one of those potential charmed ones. She's got the Piper powers.
Yeah.
She did it when a couple of men tried to grab her. I missed this. Did they were looking at their arm. Did they have the same tattoos that they'd been seeing through the season?
I believe so.
And they seemed to indicate they were working for Dark Harry. So he was part of that group the whole time?
I don't think, because I think at the end he's kind of saying like they were doing it, not him.
Well, in the end he said that he wasn't the boss, but he was still part of that group. So I didn't realize that group and him were connected until they revealed that he wasn't the boss. I didn't realize he had anything to do with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he was
evil buyers
working for them at some point, I guess is what they were getting at.
Yeah, they were ordering him around, whoever let him out of the bottle, which I guess works for that group.
Right.
Or leads that group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they find these guys in a van loading a bunch of trank guns with
in a van
TMNT.
Down by the river.
Yeah, they're eating a bunch of government cheese.
I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
And loading up trank guns with turtle ooze darts.
Yeah.
To shoot them up with. But Abigail blasts them away with her Macy powers. The show acts like this is badass, but it looks super phony and bad.
Jordan rushes in and then just breaks open the trank darts and drinks them all. Oh yeah! This stuff looks great, I don't know what it is!
The Guardian told me that it would get my powers back. This is about me, right? Thank God there was no Jordan in this episode either. Whew.
But the only one who can save him is Carman.
Carman, get out of here! He's like, hang on. Hang on, Abigail, I got this one. Ah! He falls into a river and floats away. He can't get up because his boxes are encumbering him. Macy, which one am I with?
I'll be back, maybe. To not be continued.
Macy's like, I don't know him.
We're over for reals.
After they get rid of the guys, I did like this part of it, the episode where Harry is teaching Cassie how to use her powers to unfreeze people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
seems like one
some
of the few
idea
times,
there.
Yeah, one of the few times he seems like a white lighter or watcher or someone that's supposed to be, working with witches.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I wish there was, more to this than this kind of feeling like an aside in this episode.
Yeah. I think it was also one of the few times recently where Harry has seemed vulnerable or not just gritty all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, since they got to this story in this season, he wasn't like this at the beginning.
Yeah, it's just been a while.
Yeah.
Why the hell did you do that?
So I liked that part of it. I wish that it had lasted longer. I'm not sure if that means anything. Maybe we'll get more with Cassie if it turns out that Abigail killed her parents or something. Or her mom, I should say. Her dad was still alive. Yeah, they just let her walk back to her dad alone.
Yeah.
She was almost taken by these guys. She's like, I'll be all right now.
After they get her done freeze everything, so you're good, right?
They could have walked her back. Come on.
I like to, after Abigail, uses Macy's fire powers to burn up those guys with the trank darts or whatever, Harry's, in the building watch. He's like, Abigail, no! And then she does it, and it's just kind of well, I don't know what I expected.
I don't know what I expected.
Does he know that that's Macy's powers? Do they know that she stole Macy's powers?
He should know that's her powers, but he doesn't seem to comment on that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to even, indicate, visually, oh, that means something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe it'll be another secret that he knows.
Ooh, secrets. He's just like, oh man, I can't believe Abigail's bad. Who would have known?
Yeah, I got really irritated the scene after, too, when they go back to her place and Abigail acts all indignant that he's coming to her and then pushing her away and coming to her as if they have anything.
Yeah, she acts like she's wounded by him. It's just shut up. You're not in a position to act like you're the victim.
The character's not rounded or nuanced enough for the audience to care about this. And I don't know why he's supposed to care about this. It all just feels like bad acting.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It's just it's dumb he even listens to it. It's I'm super evil, but if I go, but I'm not really that evil, and you made me feel sad sometimes. Oh, I guess I really feel bad for her now.
Yeah, are there any people genuinely invested in Harry and Abigail or what's going on with her? It just feels, I don't feel anything but annoyance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel any depth there, and I can get behind an anti-hero. It's not about that. It's just that that's not what she is.
No.
Yeah, okay, so moving on from that plot to the girls' plot, which I thought was better. I just wish that more was happening. It felt like maybe they should have just expanded on this plot and had that be the whole thing.
I was just super annoyed with this plot. Like, I want to see them as the trio go out and do something, not be stuck in their stupid bunker for a whole episode.
They're stunking up the bunker. The stunker.
The stunker.
No, I agree. I feel like they were moving things forward in a way that I'm glad, because it's been like, this is over halfway into the season now where we've just been like stagnating with nothing. Yeah. But I wish that more of a plot had been happening other than plot dump. They're just finding out info, basically.
Not even that much info. Nothing that's super interesting. It's really just kind of more cryptic BS about like, something bad could happen. You need to work as a team. It's like, they've learned this before. Fuck off.
It was like in OG Charmed when they kept talking about the oncoming storm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. It's just, it lacked any impact for me.
Yeah, I do feel like it lacked the punch that it could have had, because a lot of the stuff, like when they're revealing secrets, it's all just stuff that they've already gone over, or like just brushing through it because it's on a time crunch. So it just feels like, what was the point? It
feels like a cheap way to get them to say these things instead of it coming out naturally, which was just it just felt lazy.
It did. Okay, so the girls are digging up the bunker, still looking for that Amber. Mel gets a text from Ruby and hides it for some reason. Like, because again, they're acting like this relationship thing should be a secret, even though that was the end of the last episode, so I don't even know why they hit the reset button. While they're digging, Maggie hits something like that sparks. I don't know if this was like an electric line or something. I don't know. She hits something which triggers an automatic lockdown, and it traps them in there, which is this is a really good safe space for like a hideout for the elders. If it could kill them if this happens.
Yeah, elders or witches or whoever's supposed to go in here. Yeah, like you accidentally bump something and then you're gonna get a cryptic voiceover that doesn't help you at all and then tries to laser you to death.
Yeah, real good. They did this before, too, when they were trapped in that mirror thing from their mom, or it's like, what is the point of this?
Yeah. That's exactly what this felt like. It just felt like retreading that.
Yeah. It shuts down their magic map, it shuts down their phones, their powers don't work, so it takes away all of those things, too. So I would think if there was, like, a lockdown, like a safety measure, that would be in case someone broke in. Why would it turn off anything where they could prove who they are? Like, you could use your powers and it'd be like, oh, we detected charmed powers, you're cool, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've broken the command center. So all three of them touch the book of the Elder Book or whatever. It opens this time because all three of them touched it. And they hear a disembodied voice saying that she's a guardian, which is basically the elder customer support with a 5-question limit.
It kind of acts like Alexa or some dumb shit.
They even call it Alexa, yeah. They say it's a magic Alexa, complete with listening in on all your private info. Would you like to buy this? No, Guardian, we're trying to... Toilet paper. No, we're trying to get out of the bunker.
Ordering 500 rolls of extra thick toilet paper.
Calling Carman. What? No, we don't want the Carman. Sending bat signal. No. They look in the Elder Book, and they figure that they need to tell all of their secrets to get out of there, something about that. They also notice a bunch of names in the book. All of the names come in 3s, and they figure out that these are previous Charmed ones. I don't know if people are hoping this means that the original Charmed is in this universe, but considering what they say about the Charmed ones later, I don't know if they want that to be true.
Yeah.
But I guess this leaves it open that it could happen.
I mean, they could still be alternate dimension charmed ones, I suppose. If you really don't want them to be dead, I'd be good with them being dead. But it's like, wait, the dumb thing asks them, like, their limit of questions, and then once that's up, it just starts to laser them.
Yeah, a bunch of lasers go around them and start closing in, like the Resident Evil lasers coming at them.
Yeah, a bit like that.
They're about to get cubed.
Yeah, they're like in a trap, like it squares them in, kind of, with it coming in slowly from the ceiling. It's just like, and it's like starts blowing up things in the bunker, like some of their books and stuff. I'm just like, what the fuck is this security system that destroys half the shit in here? It's like, oh, I hope that book wasn't important. It's gone now.
Like, if this was supposed to be some sort of test or something, what if they were just idiots and they got killed? Like, good. You just killed the last charmed ones, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like at the end. Like, I'm guessing it wasn't really gonna kill them. If it was, they're really big idiots. But I mean, still, like, if this is a test, then you're destroying shit that they might need to tell them fucking useless shit.
Yeah. And all they do, I mean, they repeat a lot of things that don't need saying. This is when they start just like rushing out all of the secrets they think they should tell to try and like stop this.
Yeah.
So Mel says she had sex with Ruby, even though that, who cares? The big one is that Mel there's another big one, but as an aside, she tells Maggie that their dad knew that she wasn't his biological daughter. And then the big one is Macy reveals that Parker's alive. So that was a full one episode where she kept that secret from her.
Yeah. And like Maggie says something about
Maggie isn't even that mad about it.
Yeah, Maggie at first was saying like, oh, I felt really guilty about Parker's death. And then once Macy tells her he's not dead, she's like, oh, actually I was feeling really relieved he was dead. It's just like, what?
I unfollowed his Insta and everything.
She goes, like, oh, because he turned in such a monster. It's just like, what? Why is everyone just like, yeah, we forgot that he got poisoned by Groppler's apples in that episode?
Well, okay, yes, I don't like the whole, like, thanks Colbama angle of it, though. But I could understand why someone in that situation would feel relieved because of what a horrible situation it was. Not that it makes them right or Parker wrong or whatever. It's just, she feels horrible for thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's just like, it does just feel like a retread of the Cole shit, though. It's just like, everyone's going to ignore that he was not in his right mind when he went crazy there.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think she'd be a little bit like, oh, okay, so is he fine now? Or how do you know that? She didn't even ask how she knew.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, no. Oh, it's fine. I guess he's not dead. Cool.
Yeah, they don't talk any more about Parker in this episode. It's very brushed over. But this is how they figure out that the lasers don't really want their secrets. They want them to state to the audience all of the subtext. Just tell everyone how you're feeling. You don't have to like do it through acting or storylines. Just tell us, all of the things within yourself you need to admit.
Mm-hmm.
So they just start throwing all that out there just to spoon feed the audience what's going on.
Yeah. He's like, sometimes I feel better without you two useless idiots.
Yeah. A lot of these things that you can gather, I wish that they had just done stories about rather than this. And I feel like we've had so many scenes of people revealing secrets to each other. Like, I would rather we had good stories that don't just revolve around this.
Yeah.
Or this thing, you have to tell a secret to get out of it, or whatever. Like,
yeah, it's such lazy, just jam it in here style writing, it feels like. Instead of having it come up naturally. Or having, like
they're like, what loose ends do we have? All right, just say it now.
Yeah. Like, if we just had regular stories with the sisters in the episodes, you don't need to have it all just jammed into this weird thing like this.
Yeah, it reminds me of, in Supernatural, they had this period of time where every episode would end with them leaning against the car telling secrets to each other. And then it turned into every episode ended with them in the bunker telling secrets to each other. They got into this like very formulaic thing where it was just the same thing all the time. And it's like, okay, if you'd had one scene where the girls are like, here's some secrets, we've been holding on to this too long, whatever. But they do this constantly and often the same secrets. So it's like, can we please move on?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
So after they do that, the charmed symbol, whatever you call that thing, that's on the book and all that. It appears on the wall, and the lasers go away, and they gain access to Uncle Scrooge's money vaults.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, just a big vault opening.
Money is to be taken seriously. Didn't your Uncle Donald teach you anything?
And then there's another huge chamber here. I'm like, how did anyone miss this? Like, when they were making this safe space place, they're like, oh yeah, there's like this giant hole under the building. Guess that's great.
It was created by Carman. It's his bat cave. Yeah. His car cave.
Macy, I didn't expect you to find my secret item.
They open it up, and he's in there with a bunch of monitors jerking off with his, like, car helmet on. What? And then they just slowly back out and shut the door.
Hey, Moped, how do you know the name? Why did you say that name?
Oh, this was bad. Let's leave. They seal him in there and then fill it with cement.
And nothing of value is lost. The end.
They fill it up with the power of 3. That's how they get the powers.
Yeah.
They unite against a common enemy. Uncle Scrooge's money vault is actually a big cave with a magic tree and some pillars and shit.
Yeah, like a star field in the corner.
Yeah. The leaves of the tree have that poison ooze that they've been finding in the candy and all that shit.
Suddenly Jordan shows up, starts eating the leaves.
Yeah, he shoves his way in.
What are these? Are they poison?
And then they're like, while you're doing that, we're going to borrow your first aid kit. And you're like, fuck you,
no.
You're going to sell it for drugs.
You might need it really soon. No! Anyway, nom.
He goes to and starts raving in the corner.
I don't feel so good. You can't use my first aid on me.
There's a random chalice there. Just sitting there. And Macy's just gonna drink it immediately. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna ask any questions. This is how I'm gonna get my powers back. Oh, and then the Guardian's like, hey, hold up.
You chose poorly.
The Guardian shows up, the one that's been talking to them in the disembodied voice, but she's like a ghost. And the proportions at first made it seem like she was really tiny. Mm-hmm. Like the perspective, it was like she was one of the like tiny harp women that Riker was looking at in like an early TNG episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like they set this up to maybe have been one of the OG Charmed ones, like you don't know who it is first. And then it's like, ta-da, it's really Piper, the harpy of evil.
You know that Alyssa Milano or Holly Marie Combs would never agree to show up as a ghost on this show.
Maybe it would have been Shannon Doherty if anyone...
Shannon Doherty did it to like give them the middle finger, that'd be hilarious. But it's just some rando lady who is a former Charmed one. She's like, hey, me and my sisters fucked it up. We don't want this to happen again. We died because the power of 3. The power of 3 is given to a bunch of women throughout the generations. They're called on to save the world, but the sisterhood always ends up being destroyed. It always goes to the same place. One of them's gonna die, which means that one of the Vera/Vaughn sisters are gonna eventually die. But that's good news, because Macy already did, so what are they worried about?
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of. Like, Macy just like, I already died.
Yeah, that would be like the Slayer loophole when Faith became the Slayer, because Buffy technically died.
Yeah.
They'd be like, we're off the hook. We did it. But she hoped that one day there would be a sisterhood that would be strong enough to break the cycle. The title of the episode. They have to have no secrets, no resentments. Blee, 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 blee. Macy's like, can I drink this chalice now? I think I should drink this chalice.
I don't know why Macy couldn't get it from root juice. Like, she needs a special chalice.
There's too many antioxidants in the root juice. It's too healthy. The Guardian's like, yeah, I mean, you'll get your powers back, but you won't get the Power 3 back until you guys can discover who you are alone. So they're like, you need more plots alone, because clearly you haven't been doing enough plots alone this season.
Yeah, like, the one thing it seemed like, alright, maybe this is setting up that they're finally going to do plots together, but then she said that, I'm just like, what? More plots alone! Like, okay, first I'm gonna yell at you like, blah, 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 sisterhood, anyway, do plots alone! It's like, wow, stupid
this isn't a
show!
change from anything.
So stupid!
Shut up. Why are they even doing this with Macy? Her whole plot last season was that she felt so alone and like she was gonna be pushed away until she finally found like her sisters and they accepted her.
Yeah.
And now it's like, alone!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so backwards, and like just this whole room reveal, it feels again like the giant chamber they discovered, like you brought up with their mom's secret weapons or whatever, and then Macy's IOU in there. It's just like, why is there always a secret room over to the side that they haven't found for a bit? Like, oh yeah, there's this.
Anyone who's in charge was like, we need to hide the secret room in case, like, the writers haven't written this in yet and they need to bring this in later. We can have this for them to discover.
Yeah, there was a line that was, like, pretty much like that, because they were talking about setting off this, lockdown. Like, how come we haven't run into this before? It's like, because the writers hadn't written it yet.
Yeah. Well, whenever you notice something like that, a wizard did it.
I see. All right, yes. But in episode AG4...
Wizard.
For Glaven out.
They have this whole debate once the sisters are alone. Like, they're like, if Macy drinks from the chalice, then is she gonna get her powers back and we get the Power 3 back, but will it destroy us? Is it really worth it? I don't know. Anyway, chug-a-lug! Let's get this moving along!
No, first she waits for no reason.
Yeah, she waits for, like, Mel to go have sex with Ruby, and then for Maggie to just brush her hair. What was the point of that? She's just brushing her hair, gets a text, and leaves. There was no point to this scene.
Yeah, it's, Ruby had to remind us she was gay, I guess, in case we didn't get that.
Oh, just her line about signing up for the LGBT color run or something?
Yeah, something like that. Just like, what?
I mean, I didn't find that as clunky as some other things. Like, it's like, okay, I guess she's just part of that.
It's not as bad as, like, Mel's just going off on nothing and being angry about it. It was just...
Oh, yeah, she didn't out of nowhere, like, call someone a white man, so...
Yeah, but I mean, it felt like fake inclusionary thing, just like, hey, look at this.
I don't know. I mean, out of all the things they've done on the show, I don't think it was that clunky. I'm kind of hoping she sticks around because it was just like a casual, happy relationship. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they don't do anything dumb with it like they did with the last girl they wrote out, or Nico, or with Jada, or with all of her previous girlfriends have had dumb exits, so maybe let's not do that.
Well, the whole Jada thing was just the worst anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I don't mind this. Ruby seems chill.
She's
fine.
Super chill with people just running in to watch sports after she's done banging.
Because whatever, it's all good. It's all gravy, baby.
Yeah, we haven't put our clothes on yet, but yeah, run in and watch the game in my bedroom. It's good.
Oh, that's just the guys. What is Ruby's story? Maybe we want to see more of Ruby. What's going on with Ruby?
Maybe.
She's the one that's super impressed by, like, very generic drinks.
Yeah. A rum and coke, you say?
When she was a bartender, she was dressed like the fake undercover Maggie in the app that we played that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe she's undercover Maggie. She's the app character, and she's arrived.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, okay, we have some stuff near the end here. Harry is looking at a TMNT ooze fondue pot, and he breathes in the fog from it, and his veins start to hulk up. I guess this is how he meets up with Dark Harry in his mind, by inhaling the poison or something.
Apparently.
I guess that was what was going on with his arm earlier. This is just how he, like, connects to him.
Apparently. And, like, their weird mind meeting is just, like, outside the city. They couldn't make this kind of look like anything like neat. Just we're just outside the city. That's where our mind world is.
At least they weren't meeting on the Golden Gate Bridge, I guess.
You know, but I feel like their mind plane could have looked more interesting than just them standing outside the city limits.
That's true. You know, you can do a lot with just a black room and some lights to, like, make something look cooler without actually having to spend a lot of money or create a new set. But they didn't.
No.
We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
All right, so they meet up. Harry finds out from Dark Harry that he's not the one pulling the strings. He's working for someone else. And he said, "You should help me get out because I want to get out of this because I know what's coming. The oncoming storm."
Yeah.
Might as well said something that generic. And that is the end of the episode. What did you think, Phelan?
It was really stunning. I loved what they did with Macy while she didn't have her powers for this one episode. Nothing.
Yeah.
Really explored that. It's like, I thought it was dumb enough, you know, the way Macy lost her demon powers, but it's like, okay, but if you're going to do that story, do something with it.
Yeah, they didn't have anything like, let's say that, like, some magical creature comes after them and she has no powers to defend herself.
Exactly.
And she's never fought anything without powers before. Even in the pilot, like, when they first encountered the ice sexual assault guy, like, they had powers by that point, so they didn't really know what they were doing, but they had that. But she's never faced these kinds of things normal, and they didn't do that. And they didn't really do that when, at the beginning of the season, when Mel and Maggie didn't have powers yet, because Macy had the demon powers, but they just, like, stayed in the bunker. They didn't really have to... I mean, they faced some things, but they never really had that moment of, like, we're completely vulnerable, normal people right now.
Yeah. And I wish they had explored that more. I mean, we had, like, Mel making a few potions and stuff, but yeah, it wasn't explored that well.
They talked a little bit about them feeling useless. Like, Mel was talking about how she, you know, she used to be this powerful witch and now she's just, like, fanny pack lady. Which is, it's good. I liked that. You know, I like that they explored some of that, but they didn't really go into some of the more obvious takes that you would have in a show where witches lose their powers.
Yeah. We don't see them off doing anything enough. Like, I complained about this in that other episode, especially one that set up like, hey, we just came back from this cool thing, but that's not in the episode. It's just like, we want to see more things like that, though. Like, when was the last good adventure where they went off to do something?
Clearly it was Jordan and Maggie in that club.
Yeah.
No, we don't really see the three of them really having a very good or compelling adventure anymore.
Yeah, like, I feel like the last one was the one where all those creatures were gathered in that one lab. We had that kind of... What was the creature?
Yeah, that was the one, it had those, like, wolf things with antlers or something.
Right.
I forget what they were called, but that was kind of a neat creature design.
Yeah, I feel like that's been the best adventure episode in quite a while, where they actually felt like they were going out to do something interesting.
Yeah. And I also, I don't like that we talked about this before, I don't like that they've forgotten how to have fun or vulnerabilities or, you know, lighthearted stuff in this show. Like, whenever they make jokes, I feel like it's just bad wah-wah lines. It's not actually, like, heart or anything. Like, I really do like grittier, darker storylines, especially with, like, comic relief characters or lighter characters or whatever. Like, I like exploring that side, but I don't want it to be that all the time. I don't want the show to be this all the time. I liked the Dark Harry storyline when they were starting it, but then, like, everyone is just mopey and dark all the time. It's like I would like to have a show that feels like a rounded show. Not everything is always depressing and colorless and gritty. But I feel like in this episode, they were touching on other things a little bit. They were touching on the sister thing, which was nice because they hadn't touched on it in a while. I don't like that they were going into, you need to like learn yourselves alone again.
Yeah, I don't like that. It just felt like repeat crap, though, when it came to this sisterhood stuff. Like, you guys need to be sisters, or like work together as a team. It's like, yup, they know.
It didn't feel like there were a lot of new revelations in this episode. The biggest secret that they revealed was that Macy knew that Parker's alive, and then they just brushed it away with like 1 or 2 lines.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, what was the build up for that? That's the payoff? They have no good payoffs on this show.
Yeah. I wish too, like, I don't know, like, they were maybe annoyed once they found out this was a test. Like, when they talked to that dead charmed one or something. Like, wait, so were we really in danger back there? Like, I feel like that should have been clarified. Like, were you gonna kill us as part of this test if we didn't say secrets? Like, that's stupid. No wonder charmed ones always die, because they have dumb shit like this happen to them. You fucking laser them. You stupid idiot.
The elders are dicks. This has always been the truth.
Yeah, but this one's just a dead charmed one who did this to them.
Did she? Was that part of the elders in that thing?
I don't know. I mean, she is an old charmed one, though, and she is the one who was talking to them.
I guess. I mean, yeah? I don't know.
Maybe the elders set it up, but they're dead now, so she didn't have to go along with it.
Whatever.
They're like dead, not like dead like her who can do stuff, I guess. The elders aren't in that ghost world where they can come back and be like, oh, charmed ones, you must work as a team.
Whoa, was that it? Work together. Cool.
It'd be nice too, like, if they're gonna do something like
that's
this.
That's been the theme throughout the whole series too. Like that's from the pilot when their mom's like, "You're stronger together." Like that's the theme of the show. Is that the fucking revelation?
Yeah, it's not new. It'd be nice if they were gonna have this dumb test or something. Like she actually teaches them some new spell or something. Yeah. Like some new try spell they can do together instead of just. I've been useless. Goodbye. Drink from the chalice if you want your powers back, because that was always there.
Yeah. This episode has felt like every episode this season has really been. It's about 90% setup and 10% payoff of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then next episode it'll be the same. Like it feels like it's a lot of filler. And then not actually, like, seeing a lot of what you want to see. They just talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were moments that I liked. Like, I like that the sisters were working together. I like we got a little bit of lore with the former charmed ones. I liked Harry and Cassie. I didn't really care about Abigail at all, but there was a different thing happening there, at least. That wasn't just, like, him and Abigail fucking each other or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, I just wish this show felt like more was happening, and it doesn't. Like a lot of this episode was just like lead up.
Yeah. With how wonky the beginning of this episode was too, like I almost feel like the start of the next one could be like Mel's there with Ruby saying like, oh yeah, I can't let my sisters find out. They don't know that I'm gay. Just be like,
yeah,
what?
They might as well.
She's pretending that they don't know. She's like, what? What is going on in this dumb show?
I don't have anything else to say about this episode. Do you have anything else you would like to note, Phelan?
They must work together as a team.
They must work together with the jellyfish. We were trying to help them.
I'll get stupid Parker some more apples.
Some more apples. Groppler apples.
I probably shouldn't, but my buddy Jordan said it's always best to just eat these things without question.
The best part of this episode is that Maggie didn't give a shit, like she was relieved that Parker was dead. That's the best part.
I feel guilty. Just kidding. I was relieved.
And now I will go relieve myself.
It kind of felt like an F you to Macy when she did that too, though. It's like, oh, I'm really sad about Parker. Oh, well, guess what? He's actually alive. Oh, I felt better when I thought he was dead, so you shouldn't have told me.
Either way, you're at fault.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm done.
Cool.
If you guys enjoyed this episode of Charmed Hard with a Vengeance, I'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, or reviewed on whatever platform you're enjoying it on. You can find us in audio form at anchor.fm under Charmed Hard with a Vengeance or Charmed Rewind. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Movie Nights the Series, or Phelan Stuff at youtube.com/Phelis. If you would like to support us on Patreon, see videos ahead of time, take part in polls, all that good stuff, you can find me at patreon.com/Movie Nights, or Phelan under patreon.com/Phelis. Thanks to Peter Hunter for editing for us. You can find him on Twitter at PretorHunter. Phelan, what are the hashtags?
Hashtag work together as a team.
Hashtag repetitious. Hashtag Groppler Parker.
Yes.
Alright, we'll see you Charmanders next time. Bye!
There's a car man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car. There's a car man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car. There's a car